Hey, what's up guys, it's Oakley, and we're going to be back in Total War Warhammer, and I'm going to be playing the green skins. My opponent is going to be the dwarfs. This is going to be relatively fast-paced battle. I've brought no ranged units, no artillery. It's a no messing around green skin rush army. So I have a mix of units. I have 3 Orc Warrior big guns. They're going to be leading the charge, pushing over the right flank, and then backing that up I have 2 of the Black Orc units in the far rear, 2 big guns, 2 Orc boys, and then scattered throughout I have a couple nasty skulkers. Only one of them is revealed, and he's just meant to draw enemy artillery fire and whatnot. And then I have more units hidden around this side. Day Peak Loonies, more skulkers, and then a Durkic Squigs over on this flank, Vanguard deployed and hidden deployed. And so their purpose is just to get the dwarves out of position. I know the dwarves have the main advantage if you attack them straight for the front. So what I'm trying to do is just bide my time and slowly pull the opponent out of position. That's why you see me pulling him all the way to the left, drawing a lot of attention. And then presumably when he repositions, that's when I'll come and strike from the other side. Now he does have a nice little counter to this, which is going to be the Sky Hammer. That's coming in doing pretty punishing damage to my elite units on top of the artillery. Starting to tear apart my guys, and so I'm losing a fair amount of men in the approach. But you know, you have to be careful in these situations and not decide that, hey, this is too much damage, because in my opinion it's well worth it. Yes, I'm allowing him to get some free shots in, but it's well worth the positional advantage that I'll get by distracting him and then finally unveiling that flank. I'm just gonna wait till he tries to reposition. Anyways, what's been up with me? Well, I haven't posted anything since the past weekend. I've been a little busy behind the scenes. Seems to be the case most days. And that's just because I am working on a lot of stuff behind the scenes. The Dragon Warfare series, which I released part 1, I'm producing parts 2, 3, and yeah, so those need a little bit more work. So definitely stay tuned for those. Check out the first one if you haven't already. It's a 3-part series on Game of Thrones lore, covering Dragon Warfare. So the first one just goes over anatomy, talking about how large dragons can get, their abilities and all that. And then the next one is going to cover actually the history, so the history of Valeria, taming of dragons, their conquests against the Giscari Empire, against Roin, and then after that it goes over the Doom, the Fall, it goes over the Aegon's conquest, and then it goes over the Dance of the Dragon. So it's pretty extensive stuff. And then part 3, which I'm currently working on, is going to be going over tactics. So definitely stay tuned for those and check those out if you haven't already. But now I'm starting to take a pretty big beating from the Dwarven front line as he's repositioning. He's pretty well buttoned up against the force that I have here, and he would probably win out in a war of attrition, but now I pounce with my rear guard. Nasty Skulkers, Apic Loonies, all these guys coming back, and now this Longbeard unit finds himself on the outskirts of his formation, and he's going to try and button up this little gap here, which I'm going to try and exploit with Durkic Squigs, and then I'm going to swarm around the side. I know I don't want to get caught up on the front, so I'm just going to move around the flank. I'm also going to be kind of baiting out shots with Grimgor. I know he has more than enough ammo, or health, sorry, to tank out those volleys, and so I want more of the volleys to be dealt with targeting him. He can duck and dodge and allow my infantry to get up close. And yeah, now we're going to be closing in, and I'm going to wait for the opportunity here where I've had a fair amount of disruption, and this is going to be where the Boars are going to charge out. Let's get a nice shot of this. Pretty epic. This is the key time that they've been waiting, when the dwarves have turned their backs on them. But back to the channel. Yeah, like I said, I've been working on some documentaries. So not only can you get excited about the Game of Thrones series, but also I've got my Moments series that's under development. I don't want to ruin too much about that, but I have my pilot that's 60-70% done. Script work is all there. We have, oh, let's watch this. Yeah, script work is all there. Narration is done. We're working on a kind of concept board of how we want the art to look and all that, and we have a storyboard in effect. So most of that is already done, so expect to see that in the next month or so. Go ahead and check out my Facebook page where I do give a preview of what it's going to be on. I don't want to reveal that here, but go ahead and check out the Facebook page where I start teasing what that's going to cover, and it's probably the place where I'll be teasing more content in the future. But yeah, so that's what I've been working on. It's why I haven't posted too much lately publicly, but I think it's going to all show a lot of fruit pretty soon. Anyways, now that I've gotten in and amongst the enemy, the heroes are trying to engage, and they're starting to crush some of my weaker units, but down through the gut of the Dwarven underbelly. This is where I've got in with some Black Orcs plus Grimgor. This is going to tear up these elite units. And so I'm pretty confident. And then my swarming tactics, the Orc Boar Boys, also going to be hitting these skirmishers. My opponent went pretty skirmisher heavy, so I'm going to try and negate that with my cavalry. Doing a really good job here, picking them apart. And yeah, these slayers, I'm just tying down and distracting with my nasty skulkers. I do have the ability where I can drop the little smoke bombs, which actually slows down the slayers, preventing them from intercepting my forces. And meanwhile, they don't want to stay behind and deal with these skulkers because they don't think it's worth their time. But that's going to allow me to pick apart a couple of them. So skulkers are always a really good choice against the dwarves. Armor piercing, they do great. And yeah, now I'm going to collapse in on the rest of the enemy forces. Seems like everything is going my way. This Skyhammer is unable to do anything. He did a lot of early damage, but now he's got nothing left to do but watch over this Pyrrhic victory from my side. I wouldn't even call it Pyrrhic. I mean, the Greenskins are expected to lose a lot of men, and I did in this instance, but it was an overwhelming massacre of the Dwarven forces. Hope you guys enjoyed this quick little battle. I know it's not too much. We are waiting for more news for Warhammer 2, and yeah, that has everyone excited. Warhammer 1 is still definitely very fun. I do think we're going to be seeing more supported content for Warhammer 1, more DLC, free LC, things of that nature, so stay tuned for more, and I'll definitely be covering that when we get around to it. In terms of the end of this replay, you see I brought a mass of forces. And ended up, yeah, Pyrrhic victory because I came out with 670. But like I said, most of the losses having been dealt here to some of my cheap Orc boys. They took most of the casualties and skulkers. The rest of my high value units doing pretty well, but Durkiks, Squigs, ugh, they got obliterated. But I mean, they served their purpose. They tied down a lot of the enemy archers, quarrelers, and thunderers, I should say, and allowed for my punishing Orc Boar Biggin charge there. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this battle. Stay tuned for more, and definitely check out that Game of Thrones video if you haven't already. The next one will be up this Sunday, and then also check out my Facebook page where I will be teasing this new Moment series. That's it for this one. Hope you guys enjoyed. Stay tuned for more, and see you in the next one. Bye-bye.